Hey, I'm glad you're here. Tonight I'll tell you a spooky story while I piece together this jigsaw puzzle. Nothing loud, nothing stressful, just a gentle story to keep you company as you settle in and to help your mind unwind. Get comfortable. Let's begin. Things were never the same after we moved. I always thought moving back into my grandmother's house would feel like coming home. The creaking floors, the draft slipping through the attic door, the faint smell of damp wood mixed with decades of old perfume. I told myself it would be comforting. I told myself it was familiar. I was wrong. Lily adapted quickly, of course. She bounced from room to room, exploring the nooks and corners of the old house, delighting in the way sunlight slanted through dusty blinds in the afternoons. That's when she started talking about a new friend. "Oh, Mommy, you have to meet Mara," she chirped one morning, tugging my hand toward the living room. I smiled, assuming it was a classmate from the preschool, as I adjusted her little backpack. "That's nice, Lily. What's Mara like?" "She's funny," Lily said, giggling, "and she likes my crayons." I nodded, imagining the other children in Lily's class, the way kids attach themselves to new companions. It felt normal, at least at first, but a small tug of unease tickled at the back of my mind, like static electricity crawling along my spine. That night, after tucking her in and kissing her forehead, I went to the kitchen to wash the dishes. I was rinsing a plate when I heard her voice again, low and urgent. "Mara likes you. She likes it over here." I froze, glancing around the empty living room. Lily wasn't there. She was in her room upstairs. "Lily?" I called softly. No response. I pressed my forehead to the counter, pretending everything was normal. But I could feel my heart pound through my chest. The hairs on the back of my neck pricked. Shadows pooled in the corners, thick and heavy, as if waiting. Later that night, I awoke and found Lily sitting cross-legged on her bedroom floor, whispering to the air words I didn't understand, sentences that didn't make sense. "We have to wait. You want to be real?" I pressed closer to the doorway, heart hammering. This wasn't a preschool friend. Mara didn't exist. Not in any way I could see, touch, or understand. I immediately questioned Lily, but she seemed to be sleep-talking again. After I tucked her back into bed, I climbed in beside her, letting the warmth of her small body lull me into sleep. The next morning, Lily was coloring at the kitchen table, oblivious to my tight grip on the edge of the counter. "Mommy," she said suddenly, voice soft and serious, "Mara wants your face." I stopped what I was doing. The fork in my hand clattered onto the table. The words didn't sound like a child's joke. There was no trace of humor, no hesitation, no playful grin, just certainty. I blinked, stunned. My mouth opened, closed, opened again. No more jokes, I told myself, heart thundering. Lily tilted her head and smiled faintly, unaware of the tension twisting the air around us. "She says it will make her feel real." I wanted to laugh. I wanted to shake her. I wanted to tell her that Mara was imaginary, that this was a sick joke of a game. But the chill crawling along my spine told me it wasn't. This wasn't a game. After a few nights of catching Lily whispering to herself, I couldn't shake the unease. I decided to take her to a child therapist, hoping for some rational explanation. Dr. Hansen was kind and professional, nodding as Lily described Mara and their little conversations. After listening carefully, she smiled reassuringly at me. "Imaginary friends are completely normal at this age," she said. "They're a healthy part of creativity and emotional growth. There's nothing unnatural here, and nothing to worry about." I left the office feeling a little lighter, clutching Lily's hand. Part of me wanted to believe her that Mara was just a figment of imagination, a harmless playmate. But another part, the part that lingered in the old house at night, couldn't shake the sense that something wasn't right. The days that followed were a slow, suffocating descent into dread. Shadows seemed to stretch longer than they should, crawling across the walls at angles that defied the sunlight spilling through the blinds. The house responded to our presence. Footsteps echoed when no one was there. Drawers creaked open, then slammed shut. Lily became increasingly confident in her conversations with Mara. "She likes this," she would say, arranging her toys in precise formations. "And she says you'll help her next." I found myself imagining Mara, pale, impossibly still, mimicking Lily's smallest gestures. Every laugh, every tilt of her head seemed rehearsed. Even though Mara wasn't real, the house seemed to bend around her presence, as if learning, listening. One evening, Lily whispered from the top of the stairs, "Mara wants to see you, Mommy." I froze on the couch, clutching a pillow to my chest. "Lily, you have to go to bed," I said, voice tighter than I intended. "She says you're supposed to come," Lily replied, eyes wide, unwavering. Something in the air shifted. A draft brushed along my neck. The lights flickered faintly. I told myself it was electrical, that I was imagining things. But the way Lily's eyes gleamed, the way the air seemed heavier around her, told me otherwise. Sleep became impossible. I would lie awake listening to soft scratching noises from the walls, small, deliberate taps that didn't sound like rodents or old plumbing. Sometimes I thought I heard whispering in the corners, low, urgent, words just beyond understanding. One night I woke to the feeling of fingers brushing my cheek, gentle, almost affectionate. I froze. "Mommy," Lily whispered. "Mara's practicing." I swung on the light, and for a split second I thought I saw it, a pale, wrong face emerging from the shadows. It had my eyes, my smile, but it wasn't me. I screamed, and I heard Lily giggle, her small, high-pitched laugh sending chills down my spine. The next day, I searched for new homes. I even went on asking around town about the paranormal. Every glance in reflective surfaces became a test of sanity, a lingering look in a window, and I thought I saw movement just out of sync with my own. A shadow that didn't match my own, a whisper in my ear when I was alone. And Lily was complicit. She would giggle, tilt her head, and speak in a voice that wasn't hers. "Mara says it's almost ready." That was the final straw. It was time to leave. No matter how much Lily complained that Mara would be left behind. I didn't care. The house was unnervingly still. When I entered Lily's bedroom, it was empty. My heart pounded in my throat. I called her name. No response. The shadows in the corners of the room seemed to thicken. I ran outside and froze. There she was. Lily was standing in the yard, yet she was holding hands with something that shouldn't exist. Was taller than any man I'd ever seen, pale, impossibly grotesque, and almost human, but wrong in every way. Its face, it was mine, stitched together in uneven patches, unfinished, with a smile that mirrored me too perfectly, making my stomach twist. Lily's hand squeezed mine from across the distance, her little grin bright and innocent. "Mara says thank you, Mommy," she said, and the words felt like ice crawling through my veins. I couldn't move. My legs wouldn't obey. I could only watch as the thing tilted its head, studying me, learning me, taking me in piece by piece. The shadows of the house stretched toward us, thick and dark, as if they were reaching for me too. Lily laughed softly, and that laugh, my daughter's yet not, echoed. And I realized, with a sinking certainty that left my chest hollow, that whatever Mara was, it wasn't finished. It was still learning, still growing, and it had decided I was the next lesson.